Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest-running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of 2 college athletes. He has a wealth of experience to share. Here's Recruit Me CEO, Brent Hanks.
Welcome to episode 381 of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. This is part 2 of a 2-part interview with Shawn Goosenberg. Shawn is an ex-college baseball player at Northwestern University and is a current player in the Chicago White Sox organization. The Athletic Scholarship Podcast is part of the Recruit Me education business. My name is Brent Hanks, and I am the owner and CEO of Recruit Me. Recruit Me's goal is to provide you, whether you are a potential student athlete or the parent of a potential student athlete, with as many free and inexpensive recruiting resources as possible. You can find the Athletic Scholarship Podcast on your favorite podcast app, and a new episode hits every Tuesday. The Athletic Scholarship Podcast is the world's longest-running recruiting education podcast. Other resources that Recruit Me provides are the free Recruiting Power Pack, which is available on the recruit-me.com website. You get a download with the first steps to an athletic scholarship, an audio file about how to use videos, and a free player profile template. Just sign up on the recruit-me.com homepage. Also, you can sign up for the free Recruit Me monthly newsletter that gives you monthly recruiting tips, advice, and links to last month's The Athletic Scholarship Podcast episodes. The Recruit Me 3.0 Athletic Scholarship System gives you a 200-plus page manual and workbook to take you step-by-step through your personalized recruiting journey. You can get the Recruit Me 3.0 system for only $39. You will get the 7 steps to an athletic scholarship and much, much more. Step 1, select the right schools to contact. Step 2, write a great introductory email. Step 3, create your one-page player profile. Step 4, build your own recruiting questionnaire. Step 5, track your communications. Step 6, send one-page updates. And Step 7, make your school choice wisely. Go to recruit-me.com to get your recruiting plan today. Let's hear from Shawn as we continue with the interview. Shawn talks about playing injured, adjusting from high school to college, how time management is important. He will give advice on how to get ready for college and advice on recruiting. Join us for part 2 of Shawn's interview. By the way, tell everybody kind of what positions you have played and a little bit about your game itself.
Yeah, so I was always a shortstop growing up, and then you get to college, and there's going to be players that are better than you when you come in as a freshman. And I hit well enough my freshman year where they wanted to find a spot for me. So I got to DH a little bit, and then I finally settled into second base. So that was freshman year, and then my sophomore and junior year, I played shortstop. Since getting to professional baseball, I've bounced around the field a little bit. I've played a lot of second base, played some first base. Recently, I've started playing a little outfield. Stealing bases is important. I kind of added that a little bit to my game.
Well, and if I remember right, you came in dinged up a little bit with a bad shoulder, and were they going to actually let you play a little bit and then redshirt you so you could have some shoulder surgery, and then you got to hitting so well you never did end up redshirting?
Yeah, that's true. I tore my labrum before the year started. I couldn't really play the field much. I couldn't really throw, but I was hitting well enough to where
hitters hit, right?
Yeah, I was hitting well enough to where they didn't want to redshirt me. They snuck me in there at second base. I didn't have the best year throwing, but I was serviceable enough to play.
And it worked out good, because if you would have put that off, you would have lost a year to COVID the next year. So it luckily worked out good. So Shawn, what are some of the tough or surprising adjustments that you had to make from high school to college, both academically and athletically? So we not only talk about trying to get kids to college, we try to talk about what the experience is like so they can handle and be a good college player.
Yeah, everybody talks about it, but time management is important. Figuring out what your priorities are. I think there's enough room in a college day to have friends, go out and take care of business when it's school and baseball. I think there probably aren't too many tougher places than Northwestern to do it. And I think we had a good group of guys who were focused on baseball, school, but also having fun in college. And it really comes down to you got to plan ahead. to get your work done and figure out when you're going to do that extra work on the baseball field, when you're going to get in for extra lifts. But it's possible. It's possible to do everything. So I wouldn't believe anyone who said you're going to have no time for anything else in college besides baseball. I think it can be done.
From high school and your pre-planning, you were going to go do something that was going to challenge you academically and athletically anyway. And so you kind of had that mindset. So everybody that you were looking at was going to give you that type of experience. What advice would you give to a prospective high school athlete to kind of get ready to prepare for college baseball or to college academics?
I forgot to touch on the last part of your question, which kind of ties into this one about adjustments. The number one thing I would say is college baseball is a lot more physical than high school baseball. College baseball is grown men. So if you want to get in there your freshman year and compete, you got to attack the weight room. I had some good advice from guys before me. I started lifting pretty seriously towards my senior year of high school. And going into freshman year before that season, I was always a skinny kid, was able to put on like 10, 15 pounds and still wasn't able to hit for too much power my freshman year. But throughout college, I got a lot stronger, gained weight. And I would say the earlier you're able to do that, the more of a chance you give yourself to compete.
But I think I did an interview with Coach Reynolds, and he said he's never seen a baseball player come in too strong from high school to college. So strength is a big deal. And you are playing against men. I mean, when you come in, you're 18, 19 years old, and there's guys that are 22, 23 years old that you're playing against. What advice would you give to families that are in the recruiting process to help them get recruited and maybe alleviate a little anxiety or panic that they might be going through?
Unfortunately, things are really different now than when I was getting recruited, just because of the impact that COVID, the transfer portal, the 1 year, the transfer rule used to be 1 year sitting out for freshmen or people moving into college. Spots aren't as secure. People are always looking to add to their rosters. Coaches are on hot seats. They want to perform. So I would say something that I would be thinking about now going into college would be really understanding where you sit with a college and with the coach, with the staff, with the team, understanding where you fit in and really understanding even if you do fit in, because colleges will bring kids in who they have a hope for, but not a plan for. If you're a parent or a kid as a high school student, if you can, try to figure out not a promise, but what an idea is for when you get there, because obviously promises aren't made either.
Like you said, the situation has changed a lot. The U7 came in your freshman year. You all got to participate and be a part of the team because, one thing that we found out is Northwestern, they don't carry as many people. They don't carry as many players as a lot of other teams do. So everybody had to contribute. And that was a factor when Parker decided to go there. Was that a kind of a factor maybe whenever you decided to go to Northwestern?
Oh, yeah. I had good advice. I knew that going into Northwestern, it was an incredible opportunity to play on a team with a roster of around 30 guys. That's all they bring in. They brought 7 guys in every year. And I would say, not every opportunity is equal. Look at the roster size. Look at previous years, how many guys have come in and gotten cut or transferred away after their freshman falls. Northwestern wasn't like that. All 7 of us who came in my class, not only did we have the opportunity to contribute, but we were expected to contribute. And so that was awesome. Like just coming into college and getting thrown into the fire right away.
So what's one of your best baseball memories at Northwestern?
Just the friendships I made. It's probably stuff away from baseball. Just going to the dining hall, going out to dinner, having formals, living in a house with my best friends. Really all that was my favorite stuff.
It wasn't the 3 grand slams in 3 innings?
Those were great. Those were great moments. But looking back at what I'm going to remember the most from college, it's really not even the stuff that we accomplished or my personal accomplishments. Although that was a great moment when we hit 3.
Did you get one of those?
No, I didn't hit any of those. That was Trouty, that was Steve, and that was Vince.
You guys hit 3 grand slams in the first 3 innings against the same pitcher from Michigan State.
Yeah, and you know what? I faced that pitcher again this year, and he's doing just fine.
That was wild because there was a lot of scouts there that day to see him. And then I think in that same tournament, you about killed a guy up on the walkway with a foul ball, and then the next pitch you hit a game-winning home run too. So that was kind of fun.
I got to go back to that stadium this year and last year, and actually had a guy who worked at the stadium come up to me. It was a cool moment. He said he recognized my last name.
Oh, awesome!
He was there when I hit that home run. Is
Alex Arrow? Does he play there?
He did. He got promoted, but that's
good.
He was on for a lot of this year.
Well, you guys got to play in some neat places, and I think that was one of the things that I know Parker looked at, is he would get to go to some pretty neat places to go to, and I think that's one of the little things that you can kind of look at when you're considering colleges.
Yeah, playing in the Big Ten was awesome. Just getting to go see all those college campuses when we had away games.
Tell us what's in store for you the remainder of this year and next year, kind of what you're doing and how you're getting ready for your next baseball season.
Yeah, I'm just about a little over a month into my off season now. I've gotten to travel a little bit in this first month, and I've still been lifting, but next week it'll be time to get back into hitting, throwing, getting strong and ready for spring training.
Well, and you're getting to play in a little warmer weather than Northwestern.
Yeah, it's always nice to get back to Los Angeles to train, as much as I loved playing in the snow and freezing weather.
So was that a consideration whenever you were looking at Northwestern? Like, what in the world am I doing here, going from Southern California to Evanston, Illinois?
It was a little bit, but I was ready for a change in scenery anyways, do something different for a couple of years, and see how I like it. I love Chicago, and I like the Midwest, so I was glad I did it.
You guys, when you come through, you're going to have to stop by and fly over territory here in Southwest Missouri again. And we had the privilege of, I think, having you and your brother stop by on one of your drives through. So we enjoyed that and enjoyed the friendships, and tell your family hi and miss being with them on the road trips and the dinners. That's our memories too. Some is on the baseball field, but a lot of it, like you said, is at dinners or before and after games, hanging out and taking all the kids in. All 27 kids become your own kids whenever you're on a college baseball team and you're a parent.
All fun times.
Thanks for your time, and maybe we'll reach out again, and maybe we'll come and see you play here sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Just text me, text my parents.
Thank you to Shawn Goosenberg for taking time to visit with me and to give you advice and insight on recruiting and college baseball. I think it is great to hear from a student athlete that went through the recruiting experience and has had a successful college career. Shawn is very humble throughout both part 1 and part 2 of the interview, but I want you to know he is one of the most talented hitters both Parker and I have ever seen. Please take his words of advice to help you in your recruitment. Go back and listen to episode 380, part 1 of this interview, and also pass the Athletic Scholarship podcast along to other families and recruits going through the recruiting process. Get the Athletic Scholarship podcast at recruit-me.com or on your favorite podcast app. In the recently past episodes, I've ended those episodes with sections of the recruiting checklist. The recruiting checklist can be found on page 5 of the Athletic Scholarship 24-month planner and journal. There's a link in the show notes if you want to check it out. Here's a review of the recruiting checklist on page 5 of the Athletic Scholarship 24-month planner and journal. Number 1, select the right schools to contact. Number 2, build your introductory packet and questionnaire. Number 3, produce your video. Number 4, track your communications. Number 5, build your updates. Number 6, choose the right camps, showcases, and tournaments. Number 7, register with the NCAA or NAIA eligibility centers. Number 8, academic performance. And number 9, know the recruiting rules. If you have any questions or comments about the recruiting checklist, email me, Brent, at recruit-me.com. Join me next Tuesday for episode 382, which will be a review of this 2-part interview with Shawn Goosenberg. I will pull out some of the main points from the interview, and I will expand on some of the points and advice. Thank you for listening, and enjoy your Thanksgiving. and I'll see you next week for another 15 minutes of recruiting education information on the Athletic Scholarship Podcast that will change your athletic scholarship future.